You land with the Lakers. First day, did you go straight to Venice Beach? Because every time I Googled you, I saw some pictures with you on Venice Beach, man.
No, I did go. I went over there a lot to Venice, but I went to Gold's Gym. I didn't hang out on the beach. I was hanging out at Gold's Gym, working out between games, lifting weights, pumping iron, trying to stay in shape, building up my body. So I did end up a lot of time in Venice, but not so much on the beach, just over at the gym over there, the world famous Gold's Gym. Is going over there and working out after practice. I don't know how I had the energy to do that because Pat Riley used to run us through some hard practices. And then after practice, I'd drive over to the gym and lift weights. And this was back in 1990 and 87. This is long before, years before people started weight training in the NBA. Back then, they used to tell you, don't lift weights because it's going to mess up your shot, make you too muscle bound, and it's going to mess up your touch. I said, man, kidding me? Since I've been pumping iron, I've never felt better in my life. Even though I'm 32, I feel like I'm 22. So myself and Kermit Washington were kind of like the pioneers in weight training in the NBA because before us, nobody really was doing it. Now it's kind of mandatory that teams do it.
You just mentioned Kermit Washington. Are there any more tough guys in the NBA?
Yeah, I think so.
You play
not
with
like how it was in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. No, because the toughest guy in the NBA that nobody would fight, of course, is James Johnson. And you know why, don't you? For the Philadelphia, James is an MMA black belt. Ain't nobody messing with that boy.
we got the same stylist, man. That's funny.
Oh, yeah. Ain't nobody messing with James.
He's a bad boy. He's a bad
boy. But guys back in my time would have fought him. But, of course, they would have got kicked in the face and knocked out. But,
Robert Parrish.
Oh, man, the Chief. Whew. Quiet. Don't get him mad. It's a different time because I still think they have tough guys, but not like how it was because guys know if they throw a punch today, it's too expensive. You're going to get suspended. You're going to miss game checks. And these game checks are huge. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. The minimum salary in the NBA is around $900,000. So if you miss a game, you're talking about giving up maybe $60,000, $70,000 a game. Ain't nobody going to throw a punch to do that. Now, they may push guys, getting some guys start woofing and get a few technical fouls. But it's very rare to see guys throw a punch now because when I played, you could throw a punch and hit someone, and all it was a technical foul. And you didn't even get kicked out of the game or suspended. And so it's a different time now. David Stern cleaned up the fighting after the Ron Artest, battle in the Palace. He says we can't have these kind of fights on the court because they could spill into the stands. They could fall on some lady while you're fighting some guy or some kid, hurt that kid or lady or a guy. Next thing you know, you're getting sued because you hurt some fans in the stands. So it wasn't worth the risk. So it's good that they've taken fighting out of the game. But I still think they got a lot of guys in the league I wouldn't want to mess with. I wouldn't. So I just leave them alone. But they're not as tough as they were 30, 40 years ago because back then those guys knew if you squared up and started woofing on somebody, you're going to have to fight. Today, guys know they can talk trash because no fight's going to happen today.
Right. You just mentioned Ron Artest, now known as Meta World Peace. How did Kobe and him get along so well? Because you talked about fighting. We all remember the choking incident.
Well, Kobe was the kind of guy, he respected you if you were tough and you backed it up. If you were a competitor. Kobe knew that Meta World Peace was a competitor. Wasn't going to back down from anyone. Was going to go out there and give his all on the floor. And so Kobe respected his toughness. And when you're tough like that, Kobe's going to respect you and want to be your teammate. So that's why him and Meta World Peace, Ron Artest, got along so well because he knew Meta. Because he played against Meta many times, of course. So he knew how tough he was. He wasn't going to back down from the great Kobe Bryant. So Kobe respects that.
What do you think was in Kobe's head when Ron Artest didn't pass it back to him? When he took the three to win the championship?
I know Kobe was waiting for it over there for the ball, but Meta said, no, I got this. And you're right. When he took that shot and made it, I even myself was going, no, but he made it, man. He wasn't afraid to take the shot. And one of the biggest clutch shots ever that sort of clinched the championship for the Lakers there in Game 7. But Kobe was having an off night. But I know he was Kobe Bryant. Kobe, I think that night was 6 for 24. He couldn't make a basket. Remember?
He had like 17 rebounds or something that day.
He got a bunch of rebounds. He was assisting, but his shot was off because Kobe wanted to win that game too much. So he was pressing. You could tell. He was trying so hard to win that Game 7 because he knew, I can't lose Game 7 to the Celtics. I have 4 championships, but I cannot lose Game 7 there because if I lose Game 7, this is going to haunt me forever. Losing to the Celtics, Game 7 at home. So he wanted it so bad that his shot, he was pressing too much and he couldn't make shots, but he was still playing hard. So even though he was struggling, he still had the confidence. You know what Kobe was. He still had the confidence. Give me this. I could be 0 for 24. I'll be 1 for 25 after I make this shot.
Right. That
was his mentality.
Right. DB is finally here. What's up, DB?
Hey, man, I'm feeling good, man. Feeling like I'm bleeding purple and gold. Mychal Thompson in the building. How you doing, young sir?
Doing well. Looking forward to tomorrow's game against Damian Lillard and those Blazers.
Yeah, man. You guys talked about what the Lakers needed right now, but when AD was still healthy, what did we need to work on? Like, what were we missing when AD was still there?
Boy, when AD was playing, everything was clicking. They were shooting the three well. Caldwell Pope and Caruso were hitting like 50% of their threes. AD was dominating. Everybody was stepping up and playing with more of a comfort zone, comfort feeling, because they knew they had Anthony Davis. And so I thought everything was fine when AD was healthy. Teams could always improve, of course. The defense was adequate enough. I guess if they had to improve anything, maybe it was a little bit better defense in the paint. Even though Anthony Davis is a great rim protector, maybe sometimes they would give up a little too many points in the paint and depend on AD to clean it up with his defensive presence. But before Anthony Davis went down, and the Lakers were in first place, or at least right there with the Utah Jazz, and were clearly looking like the favorites to win the title. So then they'll get back to that level once AD gets back next month and he stays healthy.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't come back too fast, man. So we would have him at full health. But right now, without AD, we got some injuries. What are we missing on the defensive side, and what can we do on the defensive side right now to get better until he gets back?
The problem with the Lakers right now is they're having trouble defending the paint. They're giving up like 62% field goal percentage in the paint. They can't defend the rim without AD. Marc Gasol is not a shot blocker. Montrezl Harrell really isn't either. So they don't have the paint protection they had last year with Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee. So they need to improve in that area better. And also defending the three. Last night, Utah had a bunch of open threes, and so they need to rotate out and get these teams off the three-point line a little quicker. Like tomorrow, they'll face another good three-point shooting team in the Blazers with Damian and Gary Trent and Carmelo. So they're going to defend the three really well tomorrow, because teams know if you whip the ball around, the Lakers will leave a couple of three-point shooters open. So they got to improve their perimeter defense a little bit more until AD gets back.
Yeah, with this, if the Lakers, once the Lakers win the championship this year, that'll be 2 for Bron in the purple and gold. A lot of guys came in with the Lakers and won 1, 2, or 3, but with leading the Lakers to 2 championships, where does that place him on the all-time Laker list?
Oh, he will be right there with Magic and Kareem, even though obviously they had more time with the Lakers and they won 5 rings with the Lakers. But if LeBron can win another ring with the Lakers this year, I think he's right there on the Mount Rushmore of Lakers. With the Mount Rushmore of Lakers will now be Kareem, Kobe, Magic, and LeBron. Those will be the 4 faces. I think LeBron would supplant Jerry West off that Mount Rushmore if he can win another ring. And who knows, if he's done, he might win a 3rd ring. Because the way this young man takes care of himself, he's in the championship contention picture for the next three years, really, as long as he wants to play, because he's in shape. He looks like he hasn't lost anything at 36 years of age.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, man, I want to talk about a couple of personal things real fast. Do you wear green at all?
Yeah, the Celtics color don't bother me. I like green. Let's see, what would I wear that's green? Let me think about that. You got a good point. What do I have? I don't have any green socks, no green underwear. I don't have any green T-shirts, no green sweats or green coats. So, no, I guess you're right. I guess when I think about it, I don't have anything green other than money. But I guess I wouldn't be opposed to wearing green. People always say, don't you hate the Celtics? I say, you know what? I want to beat them, but how could you hate Larry Bird and Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish and Dennis Johnson? You had to have nothing but respect. You wanted to whoop them, but it's more respect than hate, because those guys were so great and they were as tough as anybody's ever played this game. So when you're going against that kind of greatness and success, you got to respect them more than hate them. Even Muhammad Ali said he didn't hate Joe Frazier, and but that's the ultimate rivalry in sports. But they respected how great each other was, and that's that. So it's more respect than hate. Now Frazier might have he might have hated Ali because Ali teased him so much, and sort of offended him, and hurt his feelings when he called him Uncle Tom and stuff like that. So, but even he had to work through that, and even he said he respected Ali because how great he was.
Right.
Yeah.